looking at solving quadratic equations by factoring. So just like we had discussed in the last lesson, the first thing we would need to do when solving quadratic equations is put the equation in standard form. If it's not already, and set the equation equal to 0. Oops. All right, once it's in standard form and set equal to 0, then we will factor the trinomial using all of the factoring methods we have already discussed. Then we will use the zero product property to solve the quadratic for our particular solutions. So let's look at just a couple of quick example questions. All right, the first one here, we have m squared minus 5m minus 14 equals 0. So the first thing we should do is factor this. So since our leading coefficient is 1, we can go ahead and use the standard AC factoring method. So we are looking, so obviously our A value is just 1, B would be negative 5, and C is negative 14. So we're looking for two values that multiply to 14 and add to negative 5. All right, so let's create our factoring diamond. Negative 14 and negative 5. Okay, our two factors in this case would be, would be 2 and negative 7. And since we have a leading coefficient of 1, we can factor this directly as m plus 2 times m minus 7 equals 0. Okay, now to find our solutions, we will take both m plus 2 and m minus 7 and set them equal to 0. So m plus 2 equals 0, m minus 7 equals 0, and now we're going to solve them both. So for m plus 2, let's start by subtracting 2 from both sides. And for m plus 7, we will add 7 to both sides. I'm actually going to adjust the width of that one, which will give me m equals negative 2, which will be one of our solutions, and m equals positive 7, which would be our other solution. All right, that's the entire process there. So let's scroll down here and take a look at number 3, since it has a leading coefficient other than 0. So for this one, if we were using the AC method, our A value would be 2, B would be negative 15, and C would be 18. So AC would be 2 times 18, which would give us 36. And our B value is obviously negative 15. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to negative 15. Hey, thinking about this, you would get negative 3 and negative 12. So for this one, I'm going to factor by grouping. If you do the Holland method, that is okay as well. So by grouping, that would give me 2a squared minus 3a minus 12a plus 18 equals 0. Okay, now I'm going to group my first two terms and my last two terms. So I will factor out the greatest common factor of both groups. In my first group, I am... Actually, wait a second. Nope, this way should work fine. So I am going to factor out a 2a, which will leave me with a, wait, no, I'm right. Okay, I need to go back a little bit, and I need to reorder my -3 and my -12 so that I can factor out a greatest common factor. So instead, I'm going to go -12a minus 3a plus 18. Okay, that way I maximize my greatest common factors, and I actually can factor it this way. So now I'm going to create a group with my first two and my last two terms. In my first two terms, my greatest common factor would be 2a, which leaves me with a minus 6. And in my second two terms, my greatest common factor would be -3, which would also leave me with a minus 6. From here, I will group my outside two terms, 2a and -3, and I will group my two leftover factors. Okay, now to find my solutions, I'm going to set both of these set equal to 0. So I've got 2a minus 3 equals 0, and a minus 6 equals 0. Okay, for my first factor, I'm going to add 3 to both sides, which leaves me with 2a equals 3. And then I will divide both sides by 2, which leaves me with a equals 3/2. On my other side, I'm going to add 6 to both sides, which will leave me with a equals positive 6. And those will be my two solutions. So go ahead, practice with these other two examples. Make sure that you set them equal to 0 before you go ahead and factor, and then set both of your factors equal to 0. Thanks for watching.